Action from last week. I was kind of, when I opened the Pool of Radiance, I was like, oh, bummer, no manuals. No, it's like, I have so much. I mean, the Stone collection is so huge. I can't keep track of what I've thought about and what I've actually looked at and done. I do have the manuals. The manuals were going through a test. They were a little musty smelling, so I was trying a deal where you put them through the freezer for a couple of days to kill any mold spores. That didn't seem to make any difference. And then put them in a Ziploc bag with a dryer sheet that was set up so it couldn't make contact and get oily. Hey, Dave User, hi. And Senili Deluxe. Is that Senili? Senili? It's the patina edition, yes. They had to clear a spot just to see how it looked and make a place where the tape would stick to put my name on it. It's pretty ugly inside. Looks like we're at 8 o'clock, so I am going to get this out of the way and start the stream. Okay, so welcome everybody. And like I said, I've set the stream up to run a little bit hotter, a little bit less lag, so hopefully our conversations won't have a minute delay on them. I am on a satellite internet. It's called Starlink, and every once in a while it cuts out for a few seconds, so I'm hoping that doesn't cause it. Hey, hello, Rudy. The other issue I just learned this week, I'll give you guys a quick update on the Amiga 1000, which has now gone up to be restored, or to restore. It's gone up for the fundraiser for the Humane Society. And after I finished that video, I discovered there were floppy drive issues after it's been on for like over an hour. It would just, it was nuts. It would just drift and it would be out of alignment. At first I thought all my discs were going bad. And you know, long story short, I spent probably 4 or 5 hours mucking around with the floppy drive and then decided to swap in a drive from a 1010 because those are supposed to be the same, but it turned out to be different. So then I pulled apart the Amiga 1000 that I'm going to restore for myself, and that drive works fine, but it is the same as a 1010, so I had to use the mounting hardware from my 1000 and the 1010's mechanism to get a good working drive, which worked beautifully after I cleaned it all up. I think those caps have been baked, being in the Stone collection. They were out in that shop, you know, in the summer heat for several decades. So I'm going to have to recap those floppy drives and probably a lot more stuff than I normally would. So that's the updates. Then today, thought it would be good to start smoke testing some stuff. The streams are not about being my main content. The streams are about getting stuff cleared and ready for actual videos. And I have spent most of the week just trying to organize and clean the Stone collection. I put a picture up, I think, on Twitter and Facebook showing what its current state is. It's much more organized, but that's taken a ton of time. But I wanted to just kind of open up some boxes with 64s and other hardware, and let's just see how they are. That way I can just put some notes on them, a little bit of post-it action, and then we'll know, and I can start doing restorations or even some some good old repair-a-thons. So figured we'd start with this box because it says C64 plus times 4 plus bonus. Add to my list. Have the knife ready. So, and I had a couple of people labeling boxes in addition to myself, so I have no idea what bonus is. I think it's a gift from Stone, and that's Carl Stone's grandson. So we have a bunch of floppies, Commodore sleeve on that one, but Just looks like some random bits that I can't read without my glasses. Sea and railroad, windsurfing, animals, birds, dinos, and horses. This looks like clip art. So one thing I'm finding is these discs, a lot of the 5 1/4s are bad. They've gotten the mold spores in that's created spots on them. The 3 1/2s I was able to clean up and get over half of them that weren't working to work again. So this is Koala technology. So this is Koala software. Here, I think this is just more packets of Koala paint stuff. And this, because of the high education content, you know, Carl worked for the school district. So there's a ton of Koala pads and stuff in these boxes somewhere. Koala pad pen, more clip art, Commodore math, Commodore English. So these are just like education discs from the school. More clip art. Not here for unboxing all this stuff, and like I said, it is all clip art. All right. So let's go back to the goodies we're after. It looks like we have a 64 here. Jim's, the serial number is really hard to read. It looks like R2398916. So R, I'm assuming that is a factory refurb. Correct me if I'm wrong. Another 64. That one looks a lot nicer. Serial number is in 5533499. A lot of double numbers there. Always like it when I see them in a bag. Not sure why there is a slip of paper in between the keys. SID noise on voice number 2. Hum at all times. Well, there you go. I have a feeling this one has SID problems. And it has no serial number. That's actually missing. Cover. We have a flap over the joystick ports. I think maybe that's to remind people not to plug them in when the power's on. So, and I need to remember to look at the stuff. Hey, Rudy. Yeah, the cover is nice on them. Retro Gaming Princess. Hey there, Michelle. So yeah, I am hoping a few of these work. And there's a 64C, and that is nicely wrapped and taped up. Sure, it's a California unit. Serial number. I know a lot of people want to see serial numbers. 1536474. So I'll set that there. Box is now cleared. So while we were out there working at the Stone Collection, I had a bit of a disaster and lost the microphone cover and had a bunch of audio issues, but now I found it. All right. So what I've done here is I've got a 64. I've got the 1084S here with a 64 cable on it. Nope, yeah, yep. So we can plug this in here. Oh, and I meant to mention, if the stream dies, I will be back. I recently discovered when I set up my bench, I've got power on the right side with all of the camera gear and computers and everything hooked up, and power on the left side. That is all of the equipment under test and everything. And when we built this place, I was very specific about these are supposed to be 2 separate circuits. Well, I'm using this power strip as a power for the monitor, and that's a GFCI, and you can get into trouble plugging a GFCI into a circuit that has a GFCI. So when I tried to run the 2500 and the 1000 at the same time, it tripped the GFCI, and it killed power to this entire side of the room. So the electrician set it up wrong. Thanks, Ben. So I'm going to have to figure out a solution to that. But in the meantime, if the unit under test trips a circuit breaker, the stream's going to die, which sucks. But I just found out a couple days ago. So there we go. The first 64 hooked up. Got the monitor over there. And I thought I had it set up so you could see that, but you know, planning, Mike. There we go. All right, so computer number 1. Got a power light. Black screen. I wonder how many black screens we're gonna see. So let's just do one thing here real quick to make sure I haven't missed something. And I'm gonna grab a known good 64. Just to be sure that the monitor's set right. Yep, so the setup's good. Hey Lloyd, a lot of 64Cs, that sounds cool. Spacebar repair, sounds like a game. Oh, Dave, I'll guess for you. Don't know how many the lot was, though. I'm going to say 70% will work. All right, so known 64 works. Okay, so this is the one. All right, so black screen. Commodore 64, numero uno. Yeah, I'm wondering if I'm going to need some kind of a PLA manufacturing setup for all of this stuff. Okay, 64 number 2 with the glued on cover. Okay, so we know it boots up. We have the right kind of setup there. And, oh, you know what the problem is with cleaning stuff up is things hide. So what I'm going to do is run a diag without the loop back. It'll just take too long unless you guys really want to watch me hooking loop backs up over and over and over again on machines. But this will give us a SID test. In the meantime, let's see here. So you're finding them on the curb. That's amazing. I had one that had the LSD issue, so definitely was bad PLA. So what do you guys think? Would you rather see each machine get a diagnostic test? Of course, the bads are from not having the loop back on it. All right, machine number 2, we're going to call okay. Obviously, it's still going to get restored and get a detailed test. Place to put all these. All right, next. Order up. There we go. Wow. Wow, that's definitely bad. So, black screen and buzzing SID. Here's number 3. So on the first one, the one I tested with a diagnostic cartridge, actually the volume was messed up just because I didn't have it turned up. Okay, so here's the one that has the note about a bad voice 2 on the SID. Okay, looks good. So does anybody have a preference? Do you want to wait around for diags, or do we just want to blow through them and get just an initial sign of life test? If you have a preference, let me know. Keyboard caps lock's on. Keyboard seems to be working okay. How many? As many as we can go through. I literally have something on the order of 80 bread bins, although a lot of them are out. So I've been spreadsheeting them. I don't have an exact count, but yeah, it's like 80 bread bins, 83 I think. A lot of them I can't get to today. They're out in the shed. If you look at the picture I put up, and I'll put it up in the community tab after this post. All right, Diag it is. Good. People after my own heart. And I do have a loop back set. This is the ones that Bill Pelton sells on Facebook. They work really well. The only thing I think they don't test is the joystick, but that's easy enough to do with the joystick. So let's see. And I do have another machine here I'm going to test. There's color RAM. Production line. Smoke test all, then diag. That's not a bad idea. Look forward to seeing all the discs in those filing cabinets. I have to tell you, Lloyd, a lot of them are bad, especially the ones that were stored like the ones in the filing cabinet. So the mold in the room was really around the floor and the edges, but it looks like the mold spores would get into the discs, and I've had a ton of bad discs. The 3.5s, I was able to use that tool to just clean them with alcohol, and that worked okay. I'm going to have to be very selective about cleaning up the ones for the 64. I did not hear a SID there. Going to have to be selective about cleaning up the 5 1/4s just because it takes so long to try to clean all the stuff off those discs. All right, so no sound. That's number 4. No sound at all. Now, this machine I bought a couple of weeks before the Stone collection came along. So this is I kind of feel bad that this got kind of set aside because I bought them from a lady who was very sweet. They were her brothers. I do have some stuff to put a video together. So there was a 64. It's got some broken keys, obviously, and it's got 4 floppy drives, 4 1541s, and a whole bunch of software. So I want to test this one as well and see where it's at. Guess we can do a real quick power test. All right, so the cursor's in the top left corner instead of where it belongs. That could be stuck keys. Yeah, stuck keys. And hey, Rudy, I just got my first pet yesterday, and it is a rust bucket, so it's going to be a fun restoration. I showed a little bit on the pre-stream. Pre-stream is in me making sure I haven't messed it all up. So right now for the power supply, I am using a homemade one that I made in a video long ago. It's pretty ghetto. It's basically just a modern PSU and there's actually a separate cable here going to a 9-volt 1-amp AC wall wart. It did not sound perfect. There was a couple clicks in there. So I'm going to call this Alaska because that's where these machines, this machine came from. So I'll set that back here where it lives. So somebody else was supposed to be buying these Alaska machines, and I had asked the woman that was selling them, because there were 2 copies of Ultima 4, and I asked her to send me, give my contact information to the person who had bought them, because I'd like to buy one of the copies of Ultima 4 from it. It was my favorite game back in the day. And so she gave me that before the sale because he didn't want them, as she put it, but he never showed up, so she ended up selling the whole lot to me. This one's boxed and complete. And okay, Rudy, I will shut my mouth during the SID test. That is a good point. I will eventually have it set up so that the tests are going through straight into OBS, so we're not having that issue. All right, 64C. The power plug was really feeling very loose. So 64C here, got the power on, and it looks like we got a good looking screen. Oh, I thought that was a crack. Turn it on. Oh, got it. Oh, that's inconvenient. Thanks, OBS. All right, so hey there, I can't pronounce your name backwards. I also can't do that very well. He's hearing background noise and shuts the SID off. Well, you turkey. I've actually never had a 64C till now, but it's a nice. I like the look of it. Reminds me of the 128. So, I got the clocks are okay. The SID sounds all right. So far, so good. Come on, Sid. Come on, Sid. Do your thing. Oh, wow. So this machine looks really clean. Nice. Sweet. This machine looks really clean. I mean, like maybe it's never been used. I don't know. So I've got plans to set up a long bench at the other end of the room to let me set up a bunch of machines. And I think maybe one of these is a good companion. Okay, so that's the first box. Right, okay, number 5 is alive. Now, so for the 128s, unfortunately, my 1084S is the very, very end of production where they took the RGB port off. So unfortunately, I can't test 80 column mode, but I can certainly plug them in and see if we have life in 64 mode. Aha, cables. That's the other thing I kind of needed was a joystick extension, printer cables, serial cables, IEC serial extension, parallel, don't know, lots of cables. And I probably should set it up so you guys can see what I'm doing. So yeah, just random stuff was used to stuff the boxes full because of space. So this is a pretty ugly looking stuff down in the bottom there. Let's see what we have. All right, so there's a 1571, no disk in the drive. Holy Toledo. So these are going to be a mess. So I don't know if you guys have seen the video where I actually go through the room, but under the table way in the back were boxes of machines that were basically where a leak was. So these were sitting in mold. I don't know if I really even should power them up, but I said I would, right? Yep. Here is a 64. It says it's dead gem. So this is another thing I ran into a lot. So it's literally carved school district machine. It is very, very nasty. Keyboard's not connected. Nothing's connected. So I'm going to trust the fact that this is dead and not plug it in unless you really, really want me to do that. But I'm thinking not. And I am not set up to run a +4. No good parts. I'm thinking this one looks pretty good, so it's going to be not parts. It's going to be for use. And then the 16. I've never actually messed with a 16 before, and I don't have a power supply out for that. So you can kind of see, so this was probably in a box, and the bottom of the box had rotted out. So the bottom of them get really quite nasty. And here is a good example of what these bottom of the barrel, as it were, machines were like, just full of nasty stuff. So let me grab another box. And by the way, on the +4, I have a couple more +4s that are quite nasty. They've got massive rust. So those are going to be the parts machines. This one can be restored because it looks good. Yeah, Lloyd, definitely needs cleaning. I have a brand new ultrasonic cleaner sitting over here in the box. So, and that's exactly why I got it. So next, $128. So let's see what we got in here. I am not testing power supplies today. I did find a 128 power supply that will kill 128s. So I'm just going to pull the machine out and test it in 64 mode with the power supply that I've already pre-tested. Ponderosa pine. Don't want to damage the box. So, and by next week, I should be able to find a working 1902 to hook up 128s to, because definitely want to, I know it's on the opposite side, creature of habit. Of course. And like I said, I pre-checked, this supply works good. So what I can do here is test it just by holding down the Commodore key to put it in 128 mode. Flip it on. I did find some REUs. Wow. Why would the color? Interesting. So in Commodore mode, we do have life, right number of bytes, but it is monochrome. So 128 number one, mono, 64 mode. Yeah, there's a few REUs. Interestingly, some of them have been through a company that upgraded them to from I think 50s to 64s. So that should be interesting to find out. Next up, hey look, it's a Commodore 128, and it was Don Moore's. I haven't checked these for matching serial numbers. So power supply, I don't know what this cable is. It's either composite and audio. It's a 5-pin. Oh, and then there's a switch. And a power supply. Most of the 128 weren't in boxes. So she is powered off. All right, so let's see here. It's going to be fun because I haven't actually worked on 128s since I had mine, which I wasn't a hardware guy. I got my Amiga before I went to school for electronics. So, we got a switch on the side here, so I'm going to guess that that's Jiffy DOS. Hey, geeky boy, how you doing? Oh, can you, Dave? I tried earlier. Is that actually responding to the shift lock? So there we've got a Jiffy DOS screen, and it's all lowercase. Shift lock was down, so let's try it Yep. So when you boot up, Jiffy DOS respects the shift lock and does opposite. And then in Jiffy DOS off mode, it should just be normal 64. Yep. So that all looks happy. So question, how do you start it in 40 column mode? I was trying that earlier with that off. And when I turned it on, see, I wasn't getting anything on the other machine, the one I used to test my testing. So it looks like the machine is not happy, huh? So there you go. There is nothing. Well, so if I hold Commodore key down, now I'm going to get Commodore 64 mode. So with the 4080 column lock on, when I turn it on, I get some garbage and then a blank screen, but I definitely have color on the border. So we have life, just not health. So C128 number 2. Okay, in 64 blank. And I'm completely, I had no idea that you could get 40 column mode to run on that monitor, so I have no idea what to expect there. So now a little bit of noise. No, that's cool, Mr. Landfill. I don't always know what I'm doing on everything because I haven't done this in 25 years, a lot of it. So it really, really stretches my brain to remember everything. But I have to be honest, I think that's part of the message I'm trying to bring is you don't have to know everything to do this stuff. I think people should, you can take time, do a little research, and then dive in and see how you can do. Dave, the 40 columns key was down. That was giving me 40 column mode. I do have another machine that I had used to test my testing. And on that machine with the 40 column key, I was getting black screen. So I had a 128 for about a year. I mainly used it in 64 mode. So it's just a matter of my brain catching up. So I got a couple of serial cables. 1351 mouse. Yep. Cover with a window. I remember this machine from out there. This is actually the one that I looked at a little bit. I unboxed out at the place. It's got the damage from the cable that was sitting on it. But what I couldn't see at that time, which I think is kind of interesting, is it's got a whole bunch of Jiffy DOS commands and stuff right on it. Just kind of neat. Mental note, do not pick up a box by the end that doesn't have the power supply in it. All right. So, make sure it's off. Plug it in. Plug it in. Well, there you go. That's a good idea. So there, in 40 and 80 column mode, I'm getting Commodore Basic version 7. What the heck? I wasn't getting that on any of the other machines. So, okay. So 4080 mode down is, got it. Down is 80. I never said I wasn't an idiot sometimes. So here we're working good in 128 mode. What? Really? Shift lock. I forget Petsky. My gut says one would be A. See, my brain keeps saying, I think, what, 63 or 64 for an A? So yeah, that's working great. So let's try 64 mode. Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate it. So there we go in Jiffy DOS, 64 Basic V2, 38911. And normal mode without Jiffy DOS. And finally, Commodore 128 mode. So did that have Jiffy DOS? Does Jiffy DOS work in 128 mode? I think there's different versions, right? Yeah, there we go. Jiffy DOS 6.01. Awesome. So this machine seems to be really nice. I think I might clean this up real well and get that as my my main running on my bench machine, because really want to get back to working on my game, and I like working on it on original hardware the way I did in the past. So I can get my assembler going on here, and it's awesome. The 128 is awesome for writing for the 64, targeting the 64, because you have all that RAM. Okay, next. All right. Oh, hey, you guys will like this? And sorry to run off to get stuff, but if you guys could see my shop right now, it is so packed with stuff, and most of the stuff's out in the shed, but I can't move. I can barely stand. So does this have a 5-pin? It does, so I can't even test it. That's sad. I haven't found a 5-pin cable yet. And I only remember seeing one silver label out there. And you guys tell me if the serial number makes sense for a silver label. Come on. Well, if my phone will focus, let's try the other camera. I don't have the patience. So there we go. So S00036623. I guess that does sound about right, doesn't it? It's got a reset button mod on it. Ooh. It has a lot of rust and corrosion. Let me just disconnect this. So I got my work cut out for me on this one. You can see there. You can see all the corrosion on there. And it's got some kind of a ROM stack here. Where'd I put my glasses? Okay, let's see here. Well, I don't know what the ROM is, but I do know that it's Dale's. It says Dale's ROM. So it looks like they've just got a pin swap. Yeah, they've burned a ROM that's it's got a label over it, so I can't see what it is, but it's got 4 more pins than a regular ROM. The 6510 is absolutely toast. I wish that, I don't know why this thing's not focusing, but if you can see that there, that thing is ugly. So this will definitely be a video, and it will definitely be a long repair. Hey, thanks, Mr. Landfill. So these are coming out of a bin over on the other end of the shop. It's just a big yellow and black bin. Each one holds 7 128s, or a combination of 128s and 64s and a few drives. Now that is yellow, and oddly enough, on camera, this is not as yellow or orange as it looks in real life. So obviously my color's off a little bit there. That's a little bit more true to how it looks. And clearly it had one of those little joysticks on here. Seems like every machine is already powered on. All right. So that's off. What do we got? Oh, interesting. So it is booting into a assembler. Or a monitor anyway. So I'm guessing that there is a chip in here. So Commodore 64 mode. Interesting. Any thoughts on that? So I don't know if you can see it, but basically we have break, program counter, and then register statuses. So just an assembly monitor. Oh God, Geek, don't do that to me. I guess retro writing's in this thing's future. Is that it? Bad basic ROM will make it boot into an assembler or a monitor? Interesting. Boots into monitor. So every one of these that we look at and get a status on is now ready for me to start working on videos, because I'm really feeling the need to get regular videos out. I do not want to be a live stream channel. The live streams are to support the regular videos. Gonna get more. More. Noise. Oh my God, it's like a maze in here. I gotta sneak through to get to stuff. So here's 3 more machines. This one is interesting. I'll save that for a minute. Couple of 128s. All right, so this one also had those little joysticks were very popular. I was looking to see if I had one handy. If you're not familiar with them, I'm sure I'll come across one. All right, here we go. Chips lock off, everything's off. Okay, black screen. Carl Stone. Wait. Bad basic ROM sounds like a great. I know who that is. How you guys doing this morning? Is this Stone or Mr. B? Okay, so this one is all black screened. Yep. I'm losing track of my count. What am I on? I'm on number 5. Oh, hey guys. Okay. I appreciate everybody being here. You know, I think it takes a village, or I like to call it the hive mind. everybody knows little bits, and we put it all together, we know a lot. Okay, that's not a good sound. I can hear the speakers buzzing as soon as I plug it in. It's not turned on. So let's see what happens when we turn it on. Nada. All right. We're going to disconnect that immediately. Number 6, black screen. And 60 cycle hum. Yeah, I appreciate it, Dave. And like I said, I appreciate everybody being here. So now this machine was right at the entrance. I saw it right when I got there, and it really puzzled me. I'm like, I've never seen one of these before. What the heck is this? Obviously missing a space bar, but this doesn't appear, does not appear to be broken. So I'm assuming I can, well, yeah, I got to be able to use a regular C64 bar. The keys are kind of sticky. But as you can see, it's a very different looking machine. It's kind of reminiscent of a 64C, but it's not. And then on the bottom, it says produced in South Australia by Micro Accessories of South Australia. So what this was, is I found it on the internet. I looked on them internets, and it was a case where you could make your bread bin look a little more modern, make it look more like a 64C. And I'm guessing this has Jiffy DOS in it. So the nice thing about it is it's still just a regular 64 board. Well, no, the power supply is different. So this is missing the center pin, so it's probably designed to be used with the power supplies that just have the 4 pins. My power supply cable. Well, what am I, being an idiot? Oh my God. You guys, just shoot me. Just shoot me. Yeah, just the 4 pins. Like that. So, but this is... all right, just ignore all that last part. Yeah, it's going to be on the recording. So there we go. Let's see what it does. A lot of hum. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's a purple tint to the top of the screen and a lot of hum when it's off. Let's see what the Diag cartridge says. Yeah, we've got probably a PLA or color issue. It's like random colors on the characters. It's very odd. An Australian C64, that's right, Mondo. I like watching EEV blog, and my wife a couple months ago was like, what the hell are you talking about? I said, it's Kamigata! Something was broken. PAL machine, huh? Interesting. Okay, so the SID sounds okay so far. SIDs are so hard to come by. I just got to keep going so you can hear it. But that all sounds great. Print Peak 678. Yes, I can. As long as I don't need a space bar. 0. Print peak 678 is 0. Okay, so it is NTSC. Interesting. I will try to remember that. So that's useful to know. So yeah, you guys may not be able to see it, but the color's shifting towards a darker at the top. Not something that I would think that's a monitor, but all the others are fine. It's also much more purple looking. Otherwise, though, it seems good. It needs a space bar. So there is another 64. Okay, so now I need to go grab some more stuff. So I'll be right back. Just take a second. I need a way to make it so I can just have everything there. All right, 64. I definitely need to get my shop organized and make more room, get stuff out of here so I can move. So here's a regular red bin 64, LCCUG, so it was one of the groups ones. There's the serial number, 016666679. So the 1084 was multi-norm. So yeah, the 1084S I use on my Amigas. I'm really sad that it won't do digital RGB. Okay, that looks like a PLA to me if I ever seen one, but who knows. Number 8. And PLA garbage. Well, Mondo, when I was looking on online about it, that literally was a accessory product that you could order and install your 64 into. So I think somebody here probably just ordered one and installed it in it. There is a 64C. Looks pretty yellow, but other than that, it's fine. There's the serial number. Can't quite read it from here, but it was tested by number 1, so it's got to be great. Oh, that's true, but would you get the I don't know what you call it, the bottom of the screen was oscillating just black? Definitely possible. All right, so 64C. Sorry, weird sound. I forgot to run the diag on the last one too. So looks all right. Let's see what that does. Ah, so it's a hiss that builds. You probably can't hear it. There's a hiss coming out of the monitor that builds up. It sounded like a hard drive spinning up. I was like, what the heck is that? So probably a bad SID, sadly. Okay. So, sound. There we go. Okay. So the SID sounds all right so far. It just keeps on going. And I have to keep talking so you can hear it. All right, so sounds good. So the SID sounds fine. So if that hiss isn't coming from the SID, that would be nice. Otherwise, it seems to be working pretty well. So, number 8, hiss. Otherwise, you good. All right, this is really stuck. Oh, yeah. This is really nasty. That's why I'm surprised it worked. All right, real quick. Yeah. Just real quick on the one that had either the bad PLA or the bad character ROM. Let's give it a shot. Dead test. There we go. I always give up just before it does something. Oof. Yeah, it definitely has a color issue. I don't know how well you guys can see that. Maybe if I turn the light off up here, the camera will adjust a little better. That doesn't seem to help. Thanks, Rudy. All right, so screen RAM. Well, there's some life in it. I mean, you can't do this if the CPU is not running. The color RAM is B. I'm guessing there's a white A and D after there, or we've locked up one of the two. So everything else seems all right. We've got the matching everything, but I think we may be done at that point. So it could be, I don't know, PLAs always amazed me. They seem like magic back in the day. Just that you could put all of that logic into one chip and make it the way you need it to be and replace just a ton of TTL. All right. So, see what else we got. Almost done here. So I can't really test this, but I thought it was interesting and it was in that same bin. So here is a 2031 with a manual that I can use with that PET. And so once I get the PET working, I can test this. So it's a long board. It's the 2031 main board. I'm guessing it's not a good sign that the cover's not screwed down, but we'll get her working. At least the mechanism's not a Notronics. Covers. All right, so next I'm going to grab some boxed ones. I think we're going to call it a wrap shortly. We will check these three and that'll be it. No, there's a bonus in this one. So works good, gives bright picks. $10 at the garage sale. There's the serial number. And then It worked fine. 11 of 95. Probably hasn't been used since. There's serial number on that one. So let's see how it's done in the last 25 years. Oh, on bad mic. Oh, can't test this one. So that 5-pin, so that's a really early one. Surprised it's not silver. And I need to find a 5-pin video cable. And that one is also. Yep, that one's also 5-pin. So those must be early machines. Dang it. Yeah, Beachhead was really cool. Okay, let's grab another box. I just I'll make a note to grab a, find a 5-pin video cable. It's empty. 64 in the box. There we go. Tan keys. I always thought those looked a little odd. Serial number. Normal video. So let's see what we got. No, dang it. That's serial, right? Well, I don't know why all of a sudden I'm getting all these machines. Wasn't it just really, really early machines that had the 5-pin video connector? One. It's a user guide. It's a little rough, but it's a user guide. Black brick of death and an RF connector switch, RF switch, I guess you call it. Apparently, these were for Carl and $30. I don't think I've ever seen a 5-pin video connector, and that was 3 in a row. So that's interesting. I got enough cables. I just got to find out where they're at. So black screen. All right. So nothing on this one. So let's try a dead test. So single flash. I don't have them memorized. So black screen. Sorry guys, there you go, single flash. I'll power cycle that. But that's how I can tell I'm out of machines to check today because I'm out of Post-it notes. If you guys have any questions or anything you'd like to see or anything before I head out? It must be, Mondo. My first machine was in '83, and I think I rented all RF for ages onto a black and white TV, so I would never have noticed. All right, well, thank you everybody for coming. I think we're gonna call that a stream. I'm trying to keep them down to an hour. I went way long last week, and it looks like the stream went okay. You're welcome, Dave. And now I've got all these machines. I can start doing some repairathons, and I will be a little bit better set up next week once that microphone comes in. So just remember that you know, the live streams are to support the regular videos. There are regular videos, several of them in process, and they will be coming along. Mondo, I think the count was 23 plus a 128D. And the 128D, I meant to test that today, but it's buried under an Amiga 1000. The 128D still has a warranty seal intact, so I'm hoping it'll work and I can just clean the heads on the drive and keep that seal intact, because I think that's pretty neat. Yeah, Dave, I plan on doing that. I actually have a setup for that, but I ran out of USB ports and in spades. Like, I've had to unplug everything I could come up with. So I have literally, this came last night, so I should be able to get set up, have everything running off a USB 3 up here off of the rack. I've got basically just a big rack overhead with the cameras and stuff, and the microphone will be attached there. So by next week it should be a lot better. And then I'll try to make it a little better every single time. Also, next week there's a possibility this stream won't happen. I have a nephew coming to stay with a bunch of friends, so we're going to have like 6 teenagers staying in the room directly above my shop. So we'll have to see how quiet it is, but I'll find out ahead of time. Oh, there you go, Rudy. You're back just in time. I was given this. I'll show you guys this real quick. The same lady with the Alaska stuff, the first thing that she brought me, because she was really disappointed in it, is when her brother died, he left her a sewing machine. She was really excited because she really wanted a sewing machine. And so this is the sewing machine. Upside down. So my Osbourne Executive now has a friend. There we go. So that's an Osbourne 1. Ciao. Okay, guys. So yeah, Osbourne 1. It's got a lot different than my Executive. I need to get both of them running. Yeah, it's Osbourne. So she was like, do you know what an Osbourne 1 is? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's the predecessor to the Osbourne Executive that I've got sitting here. He goes, oh, you know what it is? Well, you can have it, because I thought it was a sewing machine and I just went to use it and I'm really mad. So she was a really sweet lady. I have a little bit of recording on her when I go over the stuff that I bought from her. It's like 164, 4 drives, some software. She gave me this, but she had a really low price. I called and told her she should probably raise the price a bit. She goes, no, this was my brother's and I'm selling it for that. And if you want to pay more, then you can't have it. So, oh, K-Pro 2, those are great sewing machines. So yeah, I love my Osbourne Executive. The wife got it for me at a garage sale from the original owner, like, God, 15 years ago, I think. And it's like all of the paperwork, discs, manuals are still wrapped in plastic. The open this first, license agreement envelope is still sealed. He had an Osbourne 1. He was a writer. So when he bought the Executive mainly for the bigger screen, he literally just kept using the same discs he'd been using. So he never opened any of the other stuff. So, well, we're smoke testing, but this has reefas in it, and I'm afraid it'll pop the GFCI, which will kill my computer that's running this stream. So I'm not sure if you guys have any suggestions what you'd like to see next week. Put it in the comments once this is a video. I can do more smoke testing. I can do, I don't know about repairs on stream. I don't think I'm ready for it. My setup may be, but that would be hard for me to focus on the stream and the repair. I just get laser focused on what I'm doing, and that would be a real boring stream. All right, well, I will see you guys all next week. Maybe we can smoke test this then. I might pull it apart and pull the reefas out of it. I know a lot of people like to pop the reefas, but that's just not my thing. And do a repair in stream. We can all help out. Hey, thanks, Carl. It's like a ghost in the machine. Maybe we should set up an icon for you that's that picture of Carl you sent me, which everybody will see in a future video. All right, well, thanks for coming, and I will see you all next time.